Hey, buenos dias. Que la que hay, mi gente? It's Rocky here from SpeakSpanishFaster.com, and I have a pretty cool video for you today. I want to share with you a method that's going to help you sound more like a native when you speak. This video is all about helping you develop a more native-like accent when you speak Spanish. Because at the end of the day, yes, we all want to be able to speak so we can comprehend other people and travel and stuff. But most of the students that get our training, they're serious students that want to learn Spanish, not just to learn a few words here and there, but to actually be able to speak and sound like a native speaker. All right. So that's why I wanted to share this video with you. Now, this was a video that I filmed for our members area, but I wanted to share it with you because I wanted to expose you to a type of training that you've probably never done for your Spanish, to improve your Spanish, especially to improve your accent and to improve how authentic you sound. So I wanted to share it with you so you can kind of be exposed to the training, and then you can continue to do it either on your own, or you can join our members group and you can do it with us. But either way, I didn't want to hold this back from you. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you something that is called phonetic analysis training, and it will definitely help you sound more like a native when you speak Spanish. All right, so I'm going to share my computer screen with you, and that's where you're going to watch the training. It is kind of long. It's not too long. It might be like 25 minutes, but it's definitely important, and I think it's definitely going to be helpful for you. So please take some time out of your day. Even if you have to study Spanish today, maybe put that on hold and watch this video for your Spanish time or for your Spanish training for today, okay? Okay, can you see my screen? Great. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to do this training, and it is called phonetic analysis training. Now, I can't take credit for this training method. I learned this from one of my best friends. His name is Luca. He is he speaks like 12 languages, I think. He's one of the top polyglots in the world, and he is known for not only knowing languages, but being able to have perfect or native-like pronunciation in all the languages, or the majority of the languages that he knows very well. And I talk with Luca pretty much every day, and we're always talking about different language learning strategies that we can implement for ourselves and with our students. And he's been extremely influential in my ability to teach Spanish to my students. Not only that, but also in my ability to learn other language like Italian, like Napoletano, and I don't know which language I'm going to try to learn next. But yeah, so I just wanted to give proper credit where credit is due. He's the master, and this is something that I learned from him, but it's something that I think will definitely help you out. Now, before I kind of get into this training, the one thing I want to focus on is, matter of fact, let me start a new slide here, because I'm going to take notes as we go, okay? Because I think that'll be important. I'm really doing this just straight off the cuff, like off the top of my head. So sorry if it's not so scripted, but I think it's better natural. So the first thing we have to realize is that if you want to sound like a native, let me change this right here. If you want to sound more authentic, I should say, like a native when you speak Spanish, it's important to, and sorry, I like reading the words as I type because it helps me get down properly what I'm trying to say. It's important to focus on intonation as well as pronunciation. But I put intonation in caps here because everybody knows they should practice pronunciation, right? Everybody does it. But very few people actually focus on intonation. Now, intonation is the actual flow of the way that we speak. So, for example, I just did it. For example, the flow of how I said that, I could have just said, for example. That would have had like no intonation. When it comes, this is something I've talked with Luca a lot about. Is it pronunciation or intonation that makes us sound more native? Where should our focus be? Well, I think one can make the argument that intonation is more important than pronunciation. Here's why. As a native, the reason you know I'm a native English speaker isn't because I pronounce every word properly. I'm sure, I mean, my English is flawed, and I know for a fact I do not pronounce every word correctly. But the reason you know I'm a native speaker is because of the flow of the way I speak. It's the same flow that natives have, and it's the same thing in Spanish. And this is why I always recommend finding a certain Spanish accent to copy, because what you're doing is you're copying not just the pronunciation, but the intonation as well. And that's what is going to make you sound more like a native speaker. Now, if you're wondering what I mean by intonation, first I'll explain it in English, and then we'll go to this script where I'm going to show you what this phonetic analysis training is, all right? So by intonation, think about this in English. If I say, hey, what's your name? My intonation, the pitch goes up, which lets you know that I'm asking a question. Also notice the pause. Hey, what's your name? See, there's a pause between hey because there's a comma there, and it's just something we do naturally. But that intonation and those characteristics of pausing and rising with the pitch at the end is what gives the sentence context, and it helps you know that I'm asking a question. The same thing happens in Spanish. And we can look at this first sentence here, which we'll get into the script in a second. But the first sentence is, Conoce a Jill. Meet Jill. Now, if this was a question, nothing changes except my pitch at the end. So instead of Conoce a Jill, it's Conoce a Jill. That means, do you know Jill? So you can already see the importance of intonation. Now we're going to listen to this. Now the first step of this training is to step one. We'll put this here. All right. So the main argument here is that I would say this exercise is going to help you work on both. It's going to help you work on your pronunciation and your intonation. But more the focus is on the intonation here. We could say the argument here is that intonation is more important than pronunciation when it comes to sounding like a native Spanish speaker. All right, so let's listen to this first, and then we'll come back to this argument, okay? So let's listen to this.
Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana. Se cepilla los dientes y se ducha. Luego ella empaca su almuerzo. Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes. Jill conduce al trabajo a las 7:30. Cuando llega al trabajo, abre las puertas de su clase. Varios estudiantes ya están afuera de la puerta de la clase. La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana.
Okay, so we can break this down to phases, okay? Let's break it to phases. So phase one, listen to the script or audio. And sorry, I should have mentioned this. So what you want to do is you want to find a piece of content that you can get the proper subtitles to. And it doesn't have to be a long piece of content. Right now, we're just working with 30 seconds. You get the piece of content, you put it on a piece of paper. Now, usually, I would print this and I would use a pencil and I would do this exercise. But it's kind of hard to record. Number one, my handwriting is terrible. And number two, it's kind of hard to record pencil, me writing something. So that's why I'm doing it on the computer. All right. And Now what we're going to do is this. Okay, so phase one, just listen to it, get comfortable with the audio, maybe even listen a few times if you need to. Phase two, sorry, I have like OCD when it comes to like how stuff looks. All right. Now phase two is going to be listen. All right, we already listened. Make line breaks where there are natural pauses. All right, so we're going to listen to this again, and we're going to add a line break with every pause. Now keep in mind, this is pretty easy to do because the pauses usually happen where there's either a period or a comma. All right, so let's kind of listen to this.
Conoce a Jill.
Okay, conoce a Jill. So that's a pause. So I'm going to get rid of this period, and I'm going to add these line breaks. Now let me add these line breaks in a different color so they stand out. Let's do red. All right.
Ella es maestra de primaria. Se conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Se levanta cada...
Okay. Ella es maestra de primaria. So, primaria. Let me copy. I don't know why that's like that. All right. We need this red. Come on, keynote. Okay.
Cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana.
Okay. A las 7 de la mañana. This is a pause, but it's not a new sentence. Now, one thing to notice is a lot of times, well, I'll explain this next, all right? So, let's continue.
Se cepilla los dientes y se ducha.
Okay, se cepilla los dientes y se ducha. Ducha, sorry. I have trouble pronouncing my D's. It's a like Puerto Rican thing, I guess.
Luego ella empaca su almuerzo.
Luego ella empaca su almuerzo. Okay, let's put that there.
Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes.
Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes. Okay, we're going to put this here. All right, now second.
Jill conduce al trabajo a las 7:30.
Okay. Conduce al trabajo a las 7:30.
Cuando llega al trabajo, abre
Cuando llega al trabajo, we have a little pause there.
las puertas de su clase.
Abre las puertas de su clase. So notice what I'm doing. Every pause.
Varios estudiantes ya están afuera de la puerta de la clase.
Varios estudiantes ya están afuera de la puerta de la clase. So, clase. Boom.
La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana.
La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana. Okay. We have our line breaks now. So we know where each pause is at. Now, all we're focusing on here is at the end of every sentence, we want to know or at the end of every line break, we want to know, does the pitch go up or does it go down? And that's why I have these things here. All right, so we already know in the beginning. Now, I will say, usually when there's a statement, pitch goes down at the end. But if there's a long sentence and there's a comma in the sentence, usually at that comma, it goes up. So for example, remember there was a comma right here after mañana. So it would go up here. And you'll see exactly what I mean. And that's one of the things in Spanish is very common to have long run-on sentences. So pitch is usually going up, 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 and then down at the end. And then, of course, if there's a question, pitch goes up. What are you doing? You know, it's the same in English for the most part. But then you're also going to see in this, unfortunately, there are no questions where you can see that being used, but it's pretty easy to explain. ¿Cómo estás? Instead of ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Like it goes up when you ask a question. Now, you will also see pitch rising up when there's an exclamation, when you're excited about something. So let's do this, all right? Conoce a Jill. This goes down. And we'll listen to her do it, but, all right?
Conoce a Jill.
Conoce a Jill.
Ella es maestra de primaria.
Okay? Ella es maestra de primaria. That goes down, right? Primaria. Primaria. Down.
Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana.
Okay? This goes up, right? Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana. So we're going up here. And I'll bring that back really quick. Let me just bring that back a little so you can hear it.
Cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana.
Okay? La mañana. See how it goes up?
Se cepilla los dientes y se ducha. Cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana. Se cepilla los dientes y se ducha.
Se ducha. So goes down right here.
Luego ella empaca su almuerzo.
Goes down again. Su almuerzo.
Empaca su almuerzo. Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes.
Okay, she goes up right there. Paca un snack para sus estudiantes. So this is more like an exclamation. She's saying later she packs her lunch. She also packs a snack for her students. All right?
Jill conduce al trabajo a las 7:30.
We go down again. Oops. Sorry about that. Go down.
Cuando llega al trabajo, abre las puertas de su clase.
Cuando llega al trabajo, goes up, right? Remember, there was a comma here.
Jill conduce al trabajo a las 7:30. Cuando llega al trabajo, abre las puertas de su clase. Varios
Okay? So cuando llega al trabajo, abre las puertas de su clase. So goes down at clase. Varios estudiantes ya están afuera.
Varios estudiantes ya están afuera de la puerta de la clase.
De la clase. Okay, so this goes up. This is more like an exclamation. Many students are already outside of her classroom.
La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana. La clase
La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana. Okay, so here. Now we're down. Boom. All right, so now we have our pitch, right? We have, now you can see where the pitch goes on each line. And again, this is important. So you don't just read this like a robot. Now you know when it goes up, when it goes down. So when you read this to yourself, you can practice, okay? Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Not de primaria, de primaria. By doing this a lot, you will, one, be able to point out, like noticing this, it's going to become crazy how you really break down accents and intonations and stuff because it's going to be second nature. Now you're actually going to hear this stuff. You know, sometimes it's like you have to see it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this is exactly what's going to happen. And this is why now what I want you to do is when you are learning another accent, a specific type of Spanish accent, definitely focus on these things. So we have phase 2, we made line breaks. Phase 3, we showed where, we'll say, show where pitch goes up and goes down. Phase 4 is, there's a few things you can do here. I would say phase 4 would be go through it at a slow pace, but not like a robot. So like kind of like you would really be talking. And we can get an idea of how this would sound if we listen to her going slow motion. So in this phase 4, you want to practice on your pronunciation and your intonation at the same time, because at the end of the day, the two go hand in hand.
Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana.
So as you guys notice, I like using the hyperspeed method for mastering comprehension, for speeding things up and making it easier to understand people. When it comes to pronunciation, I like doing the opposite route, putting it in slow motion and being able to hear each word. Now, what you would do is, now because you know the proper where it's going up, where it's going down, I would want you to read this. I think Luca calls this at G speed. I don't know why he calls it that, but it's pretty much, so this is how I'm going to be doing it. All right, this is how you would be doing it. Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana. Se cepilla los dientes y se ducha. Luego ella empaca su almuerzo. Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes. So notice how I kind of put it all together. Okay? And then to finish it off, you can read it at regular speed. Okay? Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Se levanta cada mañana a las 7 de la mañana, se cepilla los dientes y se ducha. Luego, ella empaca su almuerzo. Ella también empaca un snack para sus estudiantes. Jill conduce al trabajo a las 7:30. Cuando llega al trabajo, abre las puertas de su clase. Varios estudiantes ya están afuera de la puerta de la clase. La clase empieza a las 8 de la mañana. So let's go back here. Phase 4. Read slow-mo, but still sound natural. So don't read it slow like this. Conoce a Jill. Ella es maestra de primaria. Like you want to read it with the natural flows, ebbs and flows of the language, okay? Still sounding natural. And then phase 5, you want to read at regular speed. If you do this exercise, you will improve both your pronunciation, and for probably the first time, you'll really be working on your intonation, which is extremely important. So definitely add this to your training workout, your Spanish workout every single day. You don't have to spend a lot of time doing this. Just do 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. The audio doesn't have to be long. You saw here, this was only 30 seconds. So it's very easy to do, very easy to practice and implement, and it's definitely going to help you out with your Spanish, help you sound more like a native speaker. And again, do this with Spanish that you want to mimic. So if you want to sound Puerto Rican or from Spain or from Colombia, then find an audio based on one of those speakers and do this exercise speaking how they speak. And again, within a few weeks, you will see drastic improvements. Of course, this is also going to help your comprehension, because when you understand the flows and the pronunciation of the words, it's going to make it much easier to understand it. Okay, so this exercise helps you all across the board. You're reading, you are making notes, you are listening, you are speaking. So it covers a lot, and I definitely think it's going to help you out. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are looking to take your Spanish to the next level, definitely click the link in the comments or description, and I'll pin it in the comments for you. But you can also go to our website, speakspanishfaster.com, check out some of our training programs. If you're a serious student, I highly recommend checking out some of those programs. You can check out the reviews of those programs on our website as well. And yeah, so if you want to learn more about how to improve your Spanish, definitely check that out. If you found this video helpful, if you liked the video, do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up for me, comment below, let me know what else you want me to help you with. I have a big list of things that I got to get to you guys, so I got my work cut out for me, and I will definitely be busy in the next few days, next few weeks, but anything I can do to continue to help you improve your Spanish. And last but not least, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Until next time, I'll see you then.